Hi guys, welcome back to the Honey Pot. My name is Brittany. I'm the director of photography and digital media here at the Honey Pot. And today we are going to be speaking to Nox Holloway. They are a Nashville alt pop duo that we are premiering their song Orbit and their music video here on our YouTube channel and on the Honey Pot website. So we got to sit down and talk with the guys and ask them all the questions about the world they're building, their new music, and especially Orbit. And let's just jump right into the interview. Hi guys, welcome to the Honey Pot. We are so honored that we're getting to premiere your song Orbit. For our first question, could you give just a little brief intro about yourself?
So my name is Bryce and this is Parker. We are a band called Nox Holloway, living in Nashville, Tennessee currently. I'm originally from North Carolina.
I'm from South Carolina.
Yeah, so here we are.
we met our first day of college, and that was about 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're gonna start getting into the music. So with your music, you're kind of building a world for your fans to kind of explore. That's kind of like a broad story between your songs and your music videos. Can you tell us a little bit behind the thought process of creating the world for your fans?
Yeah, so with our music, we always try to keep commercial viability with kind of like an escape, kind of how movies are. So like with these 5 songs, there was a start point and an end point with Parachute and Orbit that'll be out in a couple of days. And the world is kind of like this make-believe futuristic world. And it's like dealing with feelings that we deal with in real life, but we kind of put ourselves as characters into these worlds. So it feels like an escape, but still familiar. So I won't go like too far into how they're connected because we like people to like watch the videos and see like little Easter eggs and stuff. But the world about around this hourglass is kind of like the hidden meaning and everything.
And as far as putting together, we make the songs obviously first, and then we go and we say, okay, how where these are connected. These are kind of the thought processes and emotions, and then putting them into play this year. We took them to our video director named Jimmy Fisco last December actually, and laid them out and said, here's what we want to do. So it's been cool to see it happen.
Yeah, I've gotten to I took a peek at the new video and I think it's really cool. And I've taken a look at your other music videos and I've seen little itty bitty little Easter eggs. But if there's like one hint that you can give like newer fans who might have never heard of you guys, is there anything that you can kind of give them to kind of start off with, like start off with this video, or kind of any hints that you can give?
Well, the storyline is definitely in order of release. So as far as where to start, definitely start with Parachute. But we will say this feels like a chapter of a story that's ending, but the story is definitely not over. So there will be connectivity moving forward as well. So
Awesome. I love that. So when you guys first started your band, did you kind of think that you wanted to kind of do more of the concept type storylines like this?
Yeah, I think so. We've always been, like Bryce was saying, we've always been fans of movies and like offering like more or less an immersive experience when we make music. That's kind of always been in play for us as creatives when we started in college and everything. But it's really been the last few years that we've been able to execute properly creatively so that those images and stories are more clear on the output side.
Yeah,
definitely. So I want to really talk about Orbit. I got to listen to the song and I love it. I think it's just a really good, I don't know how to explain it. It's like really upbeat, but also like I relate to it heavily. So it's kind of sometimes a little bit sad-ish, sort of. I don't know how to explain it.
There's this longing in the song.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I kind of like felt that, but then also I was like, it's really upbeat and just like you want to go dance to it. So can you kind of tell us a little bit about the process behind writing the song?
Yeah, so this one has I won't go too into detail for obvious reasons, but typically when we start a song, it's like, okay, let's start a song. Let's like we have a guitar loop or some kind of loop, and then it's like, let's do a melody, something cool, whatever. But this one just kind of came to me in the shower. The melody and like half of the lyrics came to me like really quickly, which never happens. But that's why one of the reasons we feel like this song is so special is that like it obviously we worked hard to finish it, but it kind of made itself in the beginning. It was just a lot of things made sense really early, which is an incredible feeling. And that's the feeling you chase when you're making music. Because if it's super hard, typically that's not like, what you're trying to be chasing. So yeah, like half the lyrics came like the chorus, and then took it to Parker and he built like everything else. So yeah, it was a process probably over a week, just working on the song, coming back to it every other day or whatever.
Yeah, but as far as Bryce is saying, it was very much the songs that we have the most fun making. I feel like is the ones that we already have the goal in mind. Like we can already hear it practically, and we just have to go and do it and record it. So that this one definitely had that, and I'll never forget how much fun we had making it and how much we love it.
Do you have any kind of like a story in the recording studio that you would want to share with everyone?
Like from when we were making it?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a moment in the second verse. The second half of the second verse kind of departs melodically, and I'm not going to get too into the weeds of the structure of it, but we worked really hard to nail down the vocal melody, and then the rest of the song kind of just like latches onto that for 4 bars.
It's so when heaven calls, I pray you won't go back. That whole line is like,
Yes.
The whole song is very, like you said, it's like upbeat and like on, and then that just kind of like this
And then it
musical
just
departure.
Yeah, the whole track kind of just goes like this with it, and then back into the pre-chorus. So I love making that moment.
Yeah, and that's one specific moment, but we one thing that's dope about this one is how dense it feels, but it was this one we just wrote and produced ourselves, which we do with a lot of our songs, but this is probably the densest to date that we did just ourselves. So it's always nice just like looking back and like knowing all the decisions we made were like bouncing off each other in this room that we're sitting in right now. So apart from just individual moments, just the whole thing was fun to work on.
Oh, that's cool. I like getting to learn about a little bit behind the scenes because I'm not a songwriter at all. I like to write about music and I like learning about music, but I cannot write a song. I'm not musically inclined.
You probably, I
You
bet
could
you
do it.
could,
You
you
could.
could. I think you
Probably, but it'd be really crap.
Yeah.
So, no, I like learning about kind of because every band and group or artist is different on how they kind of write songs. So I kind of like learning about the process. Like, do you usually hear melodies first? Do you bring in like kind of a concept, like something you went through potentially, or um do you kind of like write in your journal and you're like, hey, like this is what I was going through, and this is kind of, I made a poem off of it. I really want to write this song. Let's kind of get into the studio and do it. So do you usually have melodies, or do you kind of come up with concepts first? Or is it kind of like on a different song basis type thing?
Yeah, I would say as far as writing, the way we think about it is like I would think about it in 3 parts: is melody, like single idea, and then I like to call them needle words, which is basically like once you have the concept, it's like words that and reinforce that concept. So like once we have the idea orbit, okay, it's like okay, it's space, and so then it's like there's stars and heavens and planets
Infinity,
and yeah,
deity,
infinity, like divinity, all these words that like sound nice. And I will literally sometimes just make a list of words, and so like it could be rhyming words or it could just be words we want to use. So I would say in this case, I remember it starting with "I feel lucky just to be in your life." That was the first thing that came to me, but then which is the same idea, but orbit sounds way cooler. And then now you have a whole immersive like imagery world to build around. Um, I kind of forgot where I was going.
Well, I would say another early decision we make is so we start melodies come before lyrics 90% of the time, I would say. But then once we have those 2 things over a chord progression, we decide on like drum feel like super early. Some people like wait to make drums, but I started as a drummer, Bryce started as a rapper, so rhythms are very important to the way we move songs left to right. So that's another like early decision we make.
Yeah.
No, I love that because you guys have that background, so you're kind of always thinking about that beat first, and then
Yes.
and then everything kind of just falls into place.
Like I'll never forget, Bryce gets out of the shower and he starts laying down the dum dum that you hear in the beginning of the song, and then I walk in, I'm like, are we going like, and then that was our decision. So and we went on that. So
No, I love that though. Like that's different than some other acts that I've talked to recently. They come up with like the lyrics and they're like, I have a concept and I want to write about it. And then they're like, now we have to figure out, like, is it gonna be a slow song? Is it gonna be a fast song? And you
Right.
guys kind of, yeah. So I like that. Now I don't know if you can tell me this or not. So something I noticed right off the bat for the new music video is that it's very blue and Parachute is very orange red. So is there a reason, and can you even give us a hint on why it's those different colors?
Yeah, I don't know if there's so much a hidden meaning as far as it really shows a progression of really not only throughout a day, but maybe just like a life. So it's like the sunset or sunrise. It's essentially those colors represent like a beginning, sunset being in, but let's just say sunrise for sake of what I'm saying. Sunrise, that's the beginning of the story. And the last one is like in space, taking place at night. Obviously, at night you'd see the stars. So it kind of just makes sense, them being bookends of the story, to start like it's daytime and end like it's nighttime, and everything in between is either indoors or in a whole different place. So I feel like it's not so much hidden meaning with those exactly, as far as just like the beginning of the story is bright and the end of the story is darker.
No, I like that. I mean, I just noticed that first off. I was like, okay, is there is there a
Yeah.
hidden meaning or not? I was like, because that's kind of the vibe I got too, is like it was Parachute is very sunrise, I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah. And also like he was saying, we make the songs first and then kind of piece them together what makes sense with the storyline. And we're both like very like see colors, like songs have colors and like feels. And so we knew even before the video, like when we're talking with our director Jimmy, it's like, okay, this song is like, when you listen to it, it feels like, whether it's uke or whatever, it feels like sun. It just feels like those colors, and Orbit feels the same way. So that might have happened before the storyline even was created, because it makes sense the way that we see them.
we talk about the things we see
Yeah.
while in this room making songs.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the video, it's not like, whoa, what's this gonna look like? Because we already have
Yeah, and these lights back here change color. So typically when we're recording or whatever, we'll make it the color that we
set the
feel. So
vibe.
we're just like in
Yep.
it.
Yep.
no, I like that because now you're kind of immersed in the feelings. So I think you can write and kind of collaborate a lot better if you're both kind of like, well, it's very red right now. or
Right,
it's very blue.
right.
So yeah, I like that. So we've kind of already touched on this a little bit, but I didn't know if there was anything else you wanted to say. So we relate heavily to the idea of wanting to stay in someone's orbit, not wanting to lose the connection with someone. Definitely without going into personal details, can you tell us a little bit more about like the song and what the release of the video means to you?
Well, I think sonically we're really proud of how this song feels like a performance almost. Like there's moments as it progresses that you could hear it on stage practically, So I think it was important for us as musicians and as performers to like create a song that feels alive to a degree. Yeah. So that, and then we were just guided by those images of like stars, galaxy, like the whole time, top to bottom.
Yeah. And as far as just to, before I say what I was gonna say, we like to say that we try to make songs that feel like they're breathing, like it doesn't feel like there's just loop after loop after loop and like da 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 the whole time, but there are moments in and out, but it's not just throwing stuff at the walls. Everything has its own place. But as far as the story, I feel like you got it, what you're saying. It's just really the idea of, regardless of what I want out of this relationship, whether I want more, you want more, whatever, I'm just glad that we're like in the same space, have any kind of relationship at all. So it's kind of just like dealing with those feelings of like, I know I want more, but I'm fine with not having more. So
Yeah, and I think a lot of people can relate to that too. It might not be right timing or might not be the best for both parties, but you still want to kind of be connected to someone in any way that you can, even if it's just like a friendship or
Yeah.
regardless of what it is. So I
100%.
think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that. And I think everyone needs to listen to the song regardless. But
Thank you.
I'm also a little bit biased because I really like it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Glad to hear it.
So kind of going to your debut EP, If Only the World Didn't Spin So Much. It received rave reviews from multiple publications. What has the reaction been like personally for you since the release of the EP?
I think that the EP was kind of a body of work that says this is what we can do. Top to bottom, there's rap verses, there's guitars, there's drums, there's there's EDM, there's like acoustic feels, there's like so much of this is what we can do. And so I think that the reaction to that has been, oh, like I think there's a degree of I get it when you hear it.
And I'm interested to an extent, but it's like we're at a really interesting point where like we know where we want to go. But like you said, we're still at the point in our careers where like we're getting better because we're still working, and so like month by month we have a clearer vision of what we're trying to do and a better ability to execute it. And so that EP was kind of like a mark in the sand of like, okay, this is Nox Holloway. Like you said, this is what we can do at this level, and then maybe the next EP is at this level, but this is what we're going to be doing. So a lot of it, like obviously we love the songs, but we feel like it's really like was a benchmark for ourselves just to put it out and be like, okay, this is where we're at now. These are like kind of when you put stuff out, it's just like a stamp in time of where you were at, whether it's like making music or in your life as far as the concept. So it's interesting to look back and be like, okay, oh, we could have done this, but it fits that song, and now we're at a different place, but that had its time. So it's definitely fun to look back on, but we're definitely looking forward to the new stuff.
Yeah, and as far as this year, like Bryce was saying, as far as this year, we feel like we've kind of narrowed it a little bit. Not to where they sound the same, because we never want to make the same song twice ever. But we've narrowed it a little bit to where there's this degree of accessibility and even more understanding of like, oh, this is what they can do. Like these two, they have these skill sets. They love these sounds. Like whatever songs we make and whatever things sound like, we always want our toolbox and our passion to be in songs.
No, for sure. I think the debut EP was just a really good intro. I think kind of like you said, it was very much like, this is who we are, this is what we can do, and then it's only going to be up from there, because you're gonna, as you keep progressing and learning and working together and creating stuff, you're only going to get better, because it's practice. It's knowing, and then it's also kind of knowing what you like and be like, well, this worked, and well, this one didn't work so much, but let's tweak it and kind of merge it together. And so I think Orbit's like my favorite. I'm just gonna say that, like point blank, that it's one of my favorites after like
It's
from
my favorite
all
too,
all the releases that you guys have released. It's just, I don't know what it is about the song either. It's just like I've had it on repeat since they sent it to me, and I'm just like, I need it to be out now.
Well, a couple days, day and a half, I guess.
Couple days. It's so close.
Yeah,
But yeah, I do like the WEP though. I think it's a very good like introduction to the band. So
and that's how we feel. I mean, we weren't even living together when we made that EP. Is, I would say, 80% made remotely.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's a lot of like, let's find out how we can make records and what we can contribute individually, because there's not as much immediate back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So now with Orbit, Parachute, all those songs, we've been in the room, bang, bang, bang. So it's just been more cohesive.
Yeah. I think, because that's actually really cool that it was kind of done remotely, the majority of it. Because it kind of pulls the picture in of the album. But then it's like, now that you guys are kind of closer together, you're able to collaborate. Like the back and forth is going to be a lot easier for y'all, instead of going like remotely and being like, hey, I'll get back to you in 2 days.
I mean, there are producers on that record that we've never met in person.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's just the nature of the way we were living and the way we were making music.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The last like 2 years, even, it's just been kind of chaotic for everyone, I think. But yeah, so we're kind of coming close to the end of the interview. So we're going to be linking Orbit down below and all of like your social media plugs. But is there anything else that you would want to say to our viewers, our newer fans, and then or anything that you kind of want to plug yourself?
I would just say, if you're a fan now, appreciate you for listening, whether you listen in the background or want to know more about the story. And if you're in the latter group, got a lot more coming in that regard. So stick around and hopefully we can continue to put out stuff that we all enjoy. So that's the
Yeah.
goal.
Just thanks to everyone. You know, we love where we are, and it's been fun to all the interactions online that we get. We appreciate all the shows that we've played. We appreciate those, and we're just really excited. We feel good about where we are and where we can go.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. And
Yeah, thank you.
we're just so honored that you guys allowed us to premiere Orbit and the music video. And I think it's gonna be a big hit.
Appreciate that.
Glad to hear it. We're so excited.
Yeah, thank you.
That was our interview with Nox Holloway. They are the Nashville-based alt pop duo. Their new single Orbit and the music video will be out tomorrow. It's premiering today on the Honey Pop. And we are super excited. We are super honored that we were chosen to premiere the song for them. And we absolutely love the song and the video and think they're both amazing. And we just cannot wait to see what's up next for the guys. And let us know in the comments below what you loved most about this interview and if you liked the song, and we will be chatting with y'all all down below or on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you.